Hey, welcome back. So I actually fell asleep on the couch, so I never got to continue this game last night. So we're at a new day. Let's get rocking and rolling. I'm just getting ready to load the game. Sorry about I really probably should move to the other end of the table so we would have a little bit less glare here. We're going to resume our campaign. And if I remember correctly, we are at the action phase. Yes, we are. So we still have a couple unexplored areas. Just to show you where we're at, everybody still needs to take an action. The only thing we did as part of this turn is Elena has this ability with her harp. She had 0 inspiration, so she gave herself 1. And then we took some resting skills, and I think we're going to definitely use them because I took some damage with these two. And the resting is not an action, by the way. It just says discard at the end of the turn. So we still get to do our full 2 actions, but I have a feeling we're not going to use them to do any battles this time. Now, here's the thing with Legolas. He got his from just searching a sack. And of course, we decided to take some stuff that probably didn't belong to us. Actually, it definitely didn't belong to us. Sorry. See, look at how much I'm white lying over a virtual theft. Okay, so I'm going to just turn this music down a little bit. Okay, the one thing with Legolas that I think we have to maximize is he can shoot 1 space away. And when he shoots 1 space away, the enemy, unless they have a ranged ability, can't counterattack. So he has a way to just pick off enemies, and I think that's what we got to use him for. But this has got the same flaw that Mansions of Madness has, and it may not be a flaw because I know some of you probably like this, but when you click to search on something, we had no idea of knowing he was going to take fear. We have no idea of knowing that Gimli had to test agility, for example, in his situation. If I would have known that I would have needed agility for that, I would have sent Legolas to go do it because he has the best agility in the game. So it's really hard to look at all of these tokens, like this one, and know what the heck it means. The only information I have is, for example, I can click here and see that's a large chest. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say I need strength or might for that, because in order to open a chest, I might need strength to break it open. Or maybe I need agility because I'm picking a lock. God only knows. And so that's the problem I have with this. Sorry, I was zoomed in on this and you weren't able to see. So that was after me tapping on this search token here. So that's a chest. We know it's a chest. What we can do with it, no clue. All right, so Bilbo right now is at this fear thing, and I'm going to start with that. It's a threat token. And so he has an ability that says, before you interact, let me see if you can, before you interact, I'm reading here, look at the top card of your deck. If it is a card with a fate, gain 1 inspiration. You can only equip 1 hand. All right, so we're going to interact with this, this threat token. So let's reveal the top one. And sure enough, there it is. There's a fate. And I'm just going to leave it face up because we know what it is now. And so I'm going to take this, and Bilbo got a nice 3rd token. And Bilbo's awesome. He can have 6 of them. So I think that's really great. I think he's even better if he's going to have other people that give him inspiration. But let's stop talking about how wonderful they are, and let's play the game. All right, so again, apologies for the glare. I have 2 lights above that are angled a little bit, and they make great for the video, but anyways, so we're clicking on this. All right, so let me zoom out here and move the camera. Maggots squirm over a stretch of ground, forming a pale carpet. Ooh, okay. The sight of 1,000 undulating maggots turns your stomach. So we have to test spirit or, what's the tree looking thing? Wisdom. Okay, so his spirit is 3. That's his highest one. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to move the camera back. And here's our first one. As we know, just a fate, and another fate, and a success. So we got one success. Now here's the nature of this test. This is a weird test where we don't know how many successes you need before you get a good outcome. It just says, how many did you get, right? So we got one, and now we got to decide how many more do we want to do. So I got this card that says if there's no nearby heroes, but Gimli is nearby. And you can verify that just by saying Gimli is in a space next to us. So that's considered nearby. So he doesn't get to do self-sufficient. Oh. Okay, I'm going to spend 2 inspiration to make it 3 successes. Let's pass this sucker. All right, so 1, 2, 3. Let me get you, and it's 1 because of this, and then the 2 inspiration converted both of those. Okay, so I have 3. Let's hit confirm. Okay, I know the glare is there. Methodically, you use your boots to kill every one of the writhing maggots. Writhing. A faint scent on the breeze leads you to conclude that the creatures were drawn here by clumsy travelers spilling their food, and now the earth will be enriched twice over. So all we did was kill maggots. Okay, gain 1 inspiration. So we got 1 of the 2 we spent back. That's pretty cool. Now, on the video I watched, that tended to be the trend. Like, for example, this interaction we just did is very different than whatever happened in the video. However, the trend that I noticed, it doesn't matter what the actions were, if you pass a test, you tended to get an inspiration as a reward. And so I've never seen a situation where you pass a test and you get back more inspiration than you actually spent, but you get some of it back, So if you're willing to spend that 2 or 3 inspiration to get a really high outcome, it might, you might get half of it back. I can't say that that's guaranteed, but that's been the trend. And it just happened here. We spent 2, we got 1 back. Okay, so let's hit continue. Oh, we discard the threat token. So that's gone. Continue. And that's it. All right, so now Bilbo actually has another action, so we're gonna move. And he will go 1, 2, and this is a new area. So if you look here, he was here, he went 1, and then 2, and we're gonna explore this area here. And so I'm gonna hit confirm. Wind brushes over the grass, making the wood of an old giver creak ominously. Oh, sorry, I was yawning. Discard the expiration token, and then he gets the inspiration. So we just got the other inspiration back. So he's back to the 3 he originally had. And let's see what else pops up. Oh, another threat token. You see a body upon the ground and hear the sound of a shovel striking nearby. Now that one looks like that might be a fight. Okay, that's exactly on the spot Bilbo's at, but Bilbo's out of action points. And we keep going. All right, so Gimli, if you'll notice, actually has a little search icon next to him. And I think we might as well search it, even though he's a million miles away from everybody. So let's do that. I'm looking at his special abilities real quick. I don't have any. Rustling of leaves, the underbrush warns you of animal life. So we're going to go ahead and search. Prepared to face some sort of wild creature, you're shocked to discover a hound with fine bones and long limbs of a well-bred hunter snuffling in the leaves. Capture the dog, find the dog's master, or befriend the dog. Oh, let's find the master. Try to discern where the animal would have come from. Test wisdom 2. If you're a human, you may convert all fate to successes. Unfortunately, he's a dwarf. and his wisdom is only 2, so this is not going to be a good test. Okay, well, the first one is a dud, and the second one is also a dud. I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 inspiration points to make them both a non-dud. So let's do it, because I want to pass these things, especially because he's very far away from everybody. I want to get him back to the group. He's the guardian. He's the one that protects people from taking damage, and I have him completely... Okay, so noting a faint path through the underbrush, you follow it and discover a hunter's perch with a young girl asleep within. As you draw near to the sleeping girl, the dog starts to growl low in its throat. Takes up a guarding stance over the child, and you are certain that even though it was a friendly with you before, the animal is intent on protecting the child against all harm. The hound must belong to the girl, or perhaps an older family member who is hunting now. Satisfied that the animal is cared for, you continue on your way without disturbing the child. Gain 2 inspiration or become determined. All right, well, the 2 inspiration is the make up the 2 we just lost. But let's look up determined. I actually don't know what that does. Here it is. Ah, so bright. When you test, you may discard this boon to discard any number of cards from the test and reveal that many additional cards. Interesting. It's a one-time use. I'd rather have the 2 inspiration, so I'm going to take those back. If he was full up on inspiration, I think I would like the boon, but and Gimli can only have 3, so it's not like yeah, I mean, I could see this going either way, but I took the inspiration. All right, I guess that's it. So we remove the token. And then we're going to move. So 2 spaces would get him to there. All right, so next we have, I think, is Aragorn. He's in a spot by himself here, and he can search. Or, you know what I'm going to do with him? I'm going to have him, he's going to move over to where Bilbo is, and we're going to do the threat. We'll let somebody else do that search. So we're going to go ahead and do this threat. Approaching warily, you notice the victim has been recently murdered in this very place. So we have to test wit. And Aragorn has 3 wit, which is decent. And we only need 1. That was a wit 1. All right, so I could have done a scout 2. During your turn, you may discard this to discard 1 fear. And I'm going to go ahead and move these cards out of the way. And as far as his equipped items go, after you or a nearby hero rests or guards, that hero gains an inspiration. The resting thing is very important because both Elena and Legolas want to rest. So I probably didn't want to do this because I don't think they're going to be able to rest next to him or nearby anymore. Okay, so let's do this. We have to do wit. It's a 3. First one is a pass. And the other 2 don't matter. But we did get a pass. Naturally got a pass. Nearby, someone is digging into the earth, but the shape is not that of a grave. You can only guess that they are attempting to discover some lost treasure. Okay, do we confront or leave? Well, somebody did just get murdered. So let's confront. You step forward, allowing your shadow to overcast the hole and anyone inside. So now we have to test might. Okay, so here's the first one, and it's a pass again. That's good. And then this one is a fail, but it does have a fate on it. And I do have determination. Yeah, so I'm going to spend 1 determination to get the pass. So we're going to pass that. With a shout, those inside spring from the hole and back away. It's yours now. We don't want trouble. the closest stutters and they turn and flee. Replace the threat token with a search token. Okay, well that's easy enough because the threat token just flips over to a search token. All right, well, let's see here. We got Elena and Legolas. They're the only ones left. So Elena's gonna do a move, and then move one space to here, interrupt that move to interact with this, and then we'll finish the move to there. How about that? So let's try that. So far, none of these have been battles. And watch her end up in a battle. Oh crap, this is the lock. Oh, Elena only has a strength of 2. I should have done that with Aragorn. I'm such a dummy. I even told, oh, look at that, test might. And I need 3 successes. Oh, come on. Okay. Yep, that was dumb of me. All right, here's the first one. It's a fate. We're only gonna get to draw 2 cards. And there's the second one, which is nothing. So, nothing happened. We're gonna have to tell them we failed. You give the lock a few half-hearted thumps, but it seems pretty solid and your arms grow tired before you can even leave a mark. All right, so then she's gonna just finish her move and go to this location. And the reason being is now she's nearby Aragorn, and we're gonna play the rest. So the rest says, discard at the end of the turn to discard 2 face down damage or fear. And so she does have 2 face down damage, and we're gonna get rid of those right now. And because of Aragorn's banner, his banner says that after you or a nearby hero rests or guards, that hero gains an inspiration. So she's gonna get a second inspiration token. So very happy about that. Sorry about the autofocus on this has been pretty rough. Okay, now we're gonna do Legolas. He also only has 2 might, so I don't think it's gonna be worth it to test that that lock. I'm looking at I was just looking at his skills to see if there's anything he had. Yeah, he doesn't really have anything. So that lock, we're probably gonna have Gimli just come over and try to do that lock. So what he'll do is he's gonna do a move. So he's with Elena now. And then once per round during your turn, you may spend an inspiration to move 1 space without provoking an attack. So we can have him move 1 more. And the idea here is that he can explore somewhere. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have him move to here, so he's still next to Aragorn. He's still next to Aragorn, so when he rests, he'll get the inspiration. He's actually gonna get the inspiration he's spending. But then again, do I really need another action right now? So I'm just gonna, actually I'm gonna just spend that as his second action. We're just gonna go into this tile. And so he will get this probably. So let's see what happens. Oh, yes, we're exploring. Spray of these waters keeps the banks deep and murky, perfect for preserving footprints. So we gain an inspiration. And remember, we're looking for tracks. So I'm guessing that we're gonna get some sort of track here. Yep, and there's a search token where he's currently standing. And one in the other spot too. That's red flowers surrounding an ancient stone. All right, so last thing he's gonna do is he's gonna play the rest card, which is an identical card, by the way. It's Legolas and I guess Elena. They're both elves, so they both have this immortality card. So he's gonna do a rest 2, and I'm gonna take You're supposed to randomly decide which ones you remove. You don't get to pick, because some of these cards have like a, you know, when you turn its face up, then it's going to do things to you. So, so I have to shuffle them and pick randomly which two are going to go. I'm not allowed to know. I don't get to choose which two if I happen to know what's written on the other side. If you remember, he only took 2 fear in the first place, and then when you read the card, it caused him to get 2 more fear. So obviously I'd want to get rid of those 2 cards, right? Because those are the ones that cause him to get even more. And there could be some event in the game that causes him to reveal him, you know, get more fear again. Anyways, that's the situation with him. And so yes, I'm going to go ahead and randomly get rid of 2. I'm not allowed to look at them. So I have 2 that are still face down in front of him. And then these 2, I'm just going to shuffle back into the main deck. And then Aragorn, of course, is giving him, through the banner, the ability to get an inspiration, which he will take. He's currently at 4 inspiration out of his 5. That's a very good number. Okay, 21 minutes in. These videos sure take a long time for, you know, we just did B-17 Flying Fortress Leader, and 1 week, which was 2 separate missions, would take anywhere between 40 and 50 minutes. A really fast week would go in maybe 20 to 30 minutes. And here we are at 20 minutes. I guarantee you it would go faster if I was playing by myself, because I wouldn't be talking so much, and I certainly wouldn't be reading all this flavor text. Okay, so we're at the end of the week. So I'm going to just go ahead, making sure. Has everybody done? I'm just going to, give me a second. I'm going to review everybody's skills, make sure I'm not missing anything. I'm sure I already have several times. There was a couple at the start of my turn. So Legolas has Resourceful. He could right now discard that to get an inspiration or to scout. I'm not going to do either. We're just going to hit end turn. And yes, we're going to end the action phase. And now we're in Shadow. Threat increases by 11. Not surprised. And then yes, this thing triggered. From a nearby tree line, you hear the warble of an unfamiliar bird. Then without further warning, arrows whistle through the air around you. Each hero tests agility 2. Each hero who fails suffers 2 face down damage. Well, Gimli's gonna fail there. He only gets to draw 1 card. The ringmail doesn't help with agility. Okay, well, let's just go in order here. We're gonna do Aragorn first. So he's testing agility 2. His agility is only 2. So he's very likely going to get hit here. Here's the first one. Oh, he has a success. And of course that's a fail. So what happened is he mitigates. Oh, does he mitigate 1? No. It says each hero who fails suffers 2. He failed. And I don't think there's anything I can do about that. Now the travel garb says, before you suffer face down damage, you may prevent 1 of that. Okay, he prevents 1. Because it does specifically say you suffer 2 face down damage. So he prevents 1, and so he's going to get 1, and it's face down, so he doesn't have to look at it. Sorry, my dog is nudging me. All right, now we go to Gimli. Gimli only gets to draw 1 card, so he's screwed. And of course it's a success, but it doesn't matter. It's either pass or fail in this situation. So he's getting 2 face down damage, and I don't think there's anything we can do about it. So here's the 2 face down damage. Out of all the characters, of course, he can handle it the most. And I guess he's going to have to. This one is 3 for him. And it also says that he can spend an inspiration to prevent the damage. Oh, I wanted to do this. So when he tested for his turn, he now became hidden. And that was way back during his turn. My apologies, but that's part of having 5 characters here. Okay, what does hidden do? If you are attacked before you test, prevent all damage and discard this boon. When you attack, you may discard this boon to add 1 success. This isn't an attack per se, so, but it's still a nice boon, and I'm just gonna, it's not considered one of his prepared cards, so I will just put it off to the side here. All right, we have to draw 3. He needs 2 to prevent the damage. There's one success. 2, oh my gosh. He got 2 successes, and I'm so sorry if the camera wasn't focused there. He actually drew these 3 cards right here. So we got 2 successes and 1 not. So we didn't even have to spend inspiration. All right, so he passes. Elena here only has 2 agility, so she might be in trouble. She just finished healing. There's 1 success. Oh my gosh, she drew 2. So she passes. Then Legolas has 4 agility. 1 success, 1 fate, 2 fate, 3 fate. All right, I don't have a problem spending 1 inspiration to make that a pass. So he prevents the damage. And his cloak basically says the same thing. He can spend an inspiration to prevent the damage. So it was 6 or 1/2 for him there. Now what's interesting is Aragorn's travel garb, which we could have switched to, would have prevented the damage without having to spend any inspiration, but it only prevents face down damage. So this cloak that Legolas is doing would prevent a face up damage. Not that it makes a difference in this situation, but in another one, it could be. All right, so we're done with that. Oh, and then we got Orc Marauders. I don't know what an Orc Marauder looks like, so I need 2 of them. Okay, Orc Marauders look like this. So, sorry, I need to look at it closer because my eyes are bad. Okay, he's got like, they're dual wielding, one of them's an axe. So let's see if I can find one of those. Oh yeah, right here. That's an Orc Marauder. That's the beauty of an early FFG game. They don't have a lot of miniatures because they're gonna sell them to you later. There's the other one. All right, so they both go way the bloody up there. Actually, they're only 1 space away from Gimli. And then the warg is going where Elena is. So this is gonna go where she is. So that's what it looks like now. All of our heroes are here. Elena's got the warg, and then there's 2 up there behind Gimli. All right, well that's not good. I hope they don't also attack this turn. An elderly crow perched in the shadow of a dying elm watches you with malicious intelligence. Its incessant cries grow louder and shriller until it erupts into flight and streaks over your head, followed by the cries of more dangerous foes. Oh no. Okay, 3 goblin scouts. I'm assuming this might be because we're in a 5-player game. I don't know. Seems like a lot. All right, so we got 3 scouts. And they are actually in Gimli's location. Like so. More! And then 2 ruffians. Holy buckets. Even if I spend all my actions fighting, that's... And more. An Orc Marauder goes up there. Okay, so first thing in this game, might be really difficult for you to see because it was actually hard for me to see, but you may notice that this one has like a red background and then a little symbol to the bottom left of it. What it's trying to tell us to do is to grab like a red banner. And I'm sure there's a red banner that has that exact symbol. I'm not sure how important it is to find it. Obviously, if there's a whole bunch of enemies on the map, it is important to find it. Oh my gosh, yeah, never mind. I was just gonna complain about something. I wasn't correct. All right, so I think, zoom in on that. So see that symbol? It looks like a little banner, and it looks like something's like like Pac-Man's trying to eat to the left. What do you think? I think I found it. So they do have banners that match that exact symbol. At the moment, it's not that painful to go through them all. I hope FFG doesn't give us, 30 dozen more. Then what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to put the banner on one of these, like this, and then it goes with the Marauder to show that particular, because this particular Marauder is its own group. So we have one group here of 2 Marauders, and then this is a second group of 1 Marauder with his banner. So that's how you differentiate 2 sets of the same type of monster. All right, so now we're in the rally phase. And let's go to, everybody gets to scalp 2. Aragorn is next to everybody. He's nearby everybody because he's here. So that means everybody's going to get to scalp 3. And this is going to be important because we have a lot of battles coming up. Or at least I think we do. So let's get this right. So I'm going to start shuffling Aragorn's deck. And let's talk about this. Am I having fun? Yes. I think this would be fun with other people more. Like from a solo perspective, I'm not having that much fun. I'm having fun because I'm chatting with you guys about the things that I would chat about with other people. Is this a bad solo game? No, it's not. I mean, it's, in fact, I think if I didn't have the camera here, I would still be enjoying this game to some extent. I'm not saying it sucks. A game that from FFG that stunk was, I can't remember what it was called. Hold on, I own it. That's why I don't like it. It's the one that I've done a video series on it. I just absolutely hated it so much that my mind has blocked out the name of it from my memory. It's the one where you wake up on an abandoned island and it has all the different terrains. You could be in Arctic terrain or you could be in a swamp or whatever. I don't like that game at all. And I've explained in my video series why I don't like that game. This one is totally fine. I like Imperial Assault and Descent. I like Imperial Assault more than Descent. And so let me explain briefly my FFG love-hate relationship with these games. Descent is a fantastic game. It has all the kinds of things that I love in it. But it originally came out as a 1 versus 4, right? And so finding that one Overlord was really hard. And I ended up always having to be the Overlord because I'm the only one that knew the rules. And then I would have to sometimes play stupidly because if I was playing at the best of my ability, I would trounce them and make them hate the game and never want to come back and continue the campaign, which I learned the hard way. I actually did do that several times and thought that I was with a group that could handle it, and they even told me they could handle it, and guess what? They didn't handle it. So you have that. So then somebody finally took over the Overlord, and then I'm playing as a player, and of course I know all the tricks the Overlord gets to do, so I'm doing stuff as a player to counter it, and the players ended up trouncing the Overlord, so then the Overlord quit and never wanted to play again. So that's the takeaway from these FFG games. The concept of an overlord is wonderful. However, when you're doing a long campaign, the overlord would have a great time for the first 3 or 4 missions, but once you start winning and getting those items and your characters are getting a little stronger and then you keep winning, then the overlord doesn't want to finish the game. Or vice versa, when I was the overlord, the players would not want to finish the game. So it was a very sit on the shelf kind of game. It was like my favorite game, but it sits on the shelf. So then fast forward, now the app comes out. Well, because the app comes out, it changed the format, because before the players would all go and then the enemy would get to go. And so the enemy's stats are conditioned in such a way that they have super high hit points, because they're basically going to stand there and take a beating until the players are done, and then they finally get to take their turn, right? So that was the whole idea, is that there had to be a lot of armor, there had to be a lot of shielding, or otherwise the overlord would never have anybody to move when it was his turn. Well, the app tried to change that, but it didn't change any of the stats. And so it basically turned into this weird solitaire where you're fighting against these things that were never meant to go in between your turn, and yet they are. Didn't care for it. So then comes Imperial Assault. Imperial Assault took all of that and improved on it, because Imperial Assault, by its definition, had I go, you go, and didn't do the thing that Descent did. Well, it again had the same problem. The Overlord, or the Imperial side, would trounce if I was on the Imperial side, or the players would trounce. Either way, never finished an actual campaign. And of course, they released 6 or 7 or 8 campaigns, and I can't convince anybody to come over and play any of them. So now comes the app like this. The Imperial Assault app is quite good, and the fact that the game naturally is I go, then you go, the app did not make it bad. But here's my gripe with the Imperial Assault app. Combat players are king. If you pick, some of those characters that just manipulate other people, or they give free actions to other people, those really help in the puzzles. Because when you're doing the human versus human game, sometimes there's a lot of puzzles, and it's not always about combat. It's about doing something in so many turns. But when you're playing in the app, it's always about combat. You're always just killing stuff to get to the next place. And it's a lot more dumbified. I know that's not a word, but I'm going to use it. It's very dumbed down compared to the human versus human scenarios. And that's my only gripe with the campaigns, is they're just extremely dumbed down. And the high combat characters are the king. Well, anyways, now we get to this. So what is it that I am griping about with this? So far, nothing, except combat is nothing more than drawing a card and seeing if you hit. That's what I don't like about this so far. When I'm playing Imperial Assault, I'm hiding behind a wall. I'm shooting around a corner. I'm making sure that something is so many spaces away from me, right? I know that, he can shoot, but if he only has a range of 4. So if I stay more than 4 away from him, I know he can't shoot me back. This is just, I'm drawing cards to see if I hit, and then you're drawing cards. Now I'm drawing cards to see if I can mitigate your hits on me. It's not as involved, so therefore it's a little more dull. Now, what I am hoping for is that when this stuff comes out, that's going to give you that element that I was talking about. But we'll see. I haven't experienced that yet. But anyways, that's my explanation right now, is that this isn't awful. It's just that drawing cards just to see if you hit somebody is a little... maybe I'm missing the dice. I mean, that's the thing. So I love Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven was about drawing cards to see if you hit too. I don't know. What is this missing that Gloomhaven had? I don't know. Let's keep playing. All right, so we're going to scout 3. Okay, so all 3 of these are... So we got Time of Need, which actually might come in really handy. when you test, what is that? Wisdom. And then this is a when you test spirit. Yeah, I'm going to do the time of need, and I'm going to put that down. And what time of needs basically is, let's make sure. Oh, sorry, I was going to knock something over here. Sorry. Okay. Time of need is when you test, if you don't get any successes, you can discard this skill to convert all the maple leaves into success. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put both these maple leaves on top. And let's see if that pays off for us. Because maybe his first attack, I can use this right away and then get a bunch of hits. We'll see. Okay, so now I'm moving on to Gimli. I should have been shuffling all these cards while I was chatting. This is definitely a simpler game. The rules, I can easily see some of my friends who don't normally play board games playing this and enjoying it, whereas like an Imperial Assault would be way too much for them. You know, line of sight rules, all that stuff is gone with this, or at least so far. Okay, so here's a weird one. We drew one success here, and then two non-successes. So I need to read these, so I'm gonna move the camera so I can read it better. Poet's Heart. Before you interact with a person token, gain an inspiration. Okay, there's no person tokens on the game, so this one's going to go to the bottom of the deck. Aid. Before a nearby hero tests, you may discard the skill for that hero to reveal 2 additional cards. If they are a dwarf, you may scout 1. There's only 1 dwarf in the entire game. So, okay, so I guess that's going to help later. But I'll take it. I'll prepare that one. He actually has 4 prepared right now. And then this one we're going to put on top because we know we're going to get a success out of that. So we will do that. And Gimli is ready. He does have 2 damage, but I think he'll be fine. All right, so next we get to is Bilbo. I think I like this game solo more than maybe Escape Plan solo. Escape Plan solo wasn't bad. I just thought it was chintzy with the way, you know, the AI just does whatever it wants. I don't necessarily like that because it's just an artificial score that you're up against and trying to beat. I do like that it interacts with you in a weird way, but anyways, here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, so we got Quiet. That would give us the Hidden ability again. It says if you would discard Hidden, I may gain 1 inspiration and discard this instead, so that way I can keep the Hidden. I think I like that. But let's look at this one. At the start of your turn, you may discard this skill to scout 2, then gain an inspiration for each aid, food, or song card in your play area. He has 1 food. So that would give him 1 inspiration. So not super helpful. So I think I'm going to go with the Quiet. Although if I take Quiet, that's that's a success one. So, that does make it more challenging. Maybe I should leave Quiet in the deck and put it on top. I'll take the Simple Desires just to get it out of the deck. And then this one I will put on the bottom. And this one I will put on top. Now, when I'm playing a solitaire game like this and I put something on top, I actually put it face up. So as I'm playing, I can still see what the card is. I know technically speaking, you're supposed to memorize it, but I'm controlling 5 characters and it's just something I do to help me mitigate that. Okay, so let's keep going. Elena, by the way, has no prepared cards at all. She's this musician who has yet to play a single song. I'm a little disappointed with this character right now. I'm really regretting that I didn't take Barivor with her pathfinding. This musician is very weak, has so far taken a lot of damage. It's just been utter crap so far. I do like the harp ability to give inspiration when there's none, but so let's see if we can redeem her a little bit. All right, so I drew this. This is a test might thing. This is a test wit thing. And this is a test agility. So I get to add 1 success. I can tell you that wit is used for her weapon. So we will take that one. And then I'm going to put these other 2 on the bottom. And once again, we got no songs. By the way, just out of curiosity, if you look through the deck, this one would have let us prepare a song, but remember we had to discard that. We were forced to. And here's a song, traveling song. And there's a song. So I guess, so we have 2 traveling songs and that's it. I guess that makes sense because there's only 3 musician cards in her deck. So yeah, not super thrilled with this one. I thought for sure this one would be better. And actually it is better if you look at the more advanced skills. The more advanced skills is she's playing music and people are healing and preventing damage. And I was getting all excited about skills that you don't actually start the game with. So maybe over time she'll become better. But right now she's just a liability. I'm going to be made to regret the Barrow decision. But that's okay. After I finish recording today, I'll just say I quit. And then we'll start another one. All right, here we go, Legolas. All right, well, guess what's that one going to? That's going to go to the bottom. Immortality is always good. That'll help us get rid of the last 2 damage we have. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare that. And these 2 will go to the bottom, but this one will go on top of the other one. And there we are. All right, so maybe a little longer than you needed, but I'm still explaining everything as we go. And my breakdown of FFG games is the stuff of legends. Okay, it is action phase. That means we get to go. Oh, so I'm going to end the video, and I will see you in a few minutes. Going to go grab some caffeine. And thank you very much. Stay awesome.